And we have some open doubles action for you here on table number one. Pat O'Gorman, Calvin Chan on the right side. Russ King, Christina Fuchs on the left. Best 2 games out of 3. The winner will advance to the semifinals in the elimination bracket, as Pat O'Gorman will put the ball into play, opening up game number 1. Taken away here by King. Russ through the lane, can't hold on to it. Stabbed wide of the goal by O'Gorman, picked up by Fuchs. Here's Chan. And Russ able to pick it up on the 5. Angles that one towards the goal. It comes all the way back to Fuchs. Still no score. You're in game number 1. And a pass. Russ couldn't hold on to it. It comes back to Chan. And Cal winds up and drills the pull shot to make it 1-0. Calvin putting another one on goal, and that allows Pat O'Gorman to scoop up the rebound and set up his pull shot. And find the hole down the middle. 2-0 lead early on for O'Gorman and Chan. That one angled into the goal by King. Hustle play there from Russ. Grabbed here by Cal. And right back into the goal as King was able to stuff the pull shot attempt by Calvin Chan. It's 2-2. Shot attempt here, blocked by Fuchs, comes back to O'Gorman. For the lead, Pat O'Gorman tried to go straight, that one off the near post. Passed along the near wall by King. And Russ able to stroke home the pull shot. Open doubles quarterfinal. The winner survives and advances to the semifinals, and the loser would finish in a tie for 5th. All day yesterday was spent qualifying teams for today's elimination rounds, and O'Gorman evens it at 3. Ball put back into play, picked up here by Chan. Sends that one towards the goal. Fuchs with the rebound. Russ King now can give his team the lead. And that one blocked back into the goal. 4-3 lead for King and Fuchs. O'Gorman picks this one up. Pat will look to even it up at 4. And he does. And a timeout called here by King and Fuchs. Ball put back into play by King, who quickly advances it and can win game number 1 right here. So he sets up the pull shot and strokes it home. So Russ King, Christina Fuchs hold on to win game number 1. They lead 1-0. Pat O'Gorman will put the ball into play, opening up game number 2. 1-0 lead for King and Fuchs. O'Gorman. Turned over here by Fuchs. But taken right back by Christina. O'Gorman, another opportunity here to open up the scoring in this second game. As he sets up the pole shot, but sliding out there to block it and take it away is 3-time world champion Christina Fuchs. Christina, of course, part of that ladies team that competed in Hamburg, Germany this year at the World Cup and finished 3rd, their best finish ever internationally. And Calvin Chan pounds it home. It's 1-0. Russ nicely along the near wall. And slammed in here by King. Squeezed through by O'Gorman. Pat sets it up and finds the straight hole. A 2-1 lead here in the second game for Pat O'Gorman and Calvin Chan. And going to that short side is King to make it 2-2. And Pat O'Gorman's pass ends up in the goal. And there's King finishing off that flurry with a left hook. It's 3-3. This is Russ King back there, having it blocked right back into the goal. It's 4-3. King went with a push kick. Rebound comes back to Fuchs. Along that near wall nicely. Russ King can tie it up, give his team a match point, and he does.
What's the timeout situation? We have one or two? We have one? Yeah. We're going to burn our second.
Pat O'Gorman will put it into play. It's match point for Russ King and Christina Fuchs, but Pat O'Gorman with a chance to send it to game number 3 right here. And he does. Here we go. Third game underway. The winner survives. The loser would end up in 5th position as King now able to pass it through, and he'll set up a pull shot. Chan with a block of the straight attempt. Russ again. Again going straight. Calvin again, and then the push kick. Gets through. It's 1-0. O'Gorman looking to answer. Pad once again, then loses it back to Russ King. Cal up the table, swept away by Fuchs. And the clear here, nicely done by Fuchs. Gets her partner Russ King a possession on the 3-rod and a chance to extend the lead, which he does as he strokes that one back down the middle. Like he might have cut that back against the reverse defense of Calvin Chan. This is a big possession here for Pat O'Gorman. And he takes advantage of it as he strokes home the pull shot. And the steal by O'Gorman. That's a good save there by Chan. Still 2-1 here in the third in favor of Russ King and Christina Fuchs. And O'Gorman's going to capture the spinning ball here. Looking to even it up at 2 here in this third game, Pat O'Gorman. Tried to chip it inside and didn't really sell it. Fuchs takes it away. Goalies exchanging possessions. Nice save there by Fuchs. Still 2-1. But taken right back by O'Gorman. And a timeout called here by Pat. Pat O'Gorman will put it back into play. 2-1 lead here in the third game for King and Fuchs as O'Gorman has it blocked and taken away. Quick pass, knocked towards the goal and in by King. Saw the reaction play there, and Russ has always had the quick hands and the quick reaction. As Fuchs cleared it, it came off that back wall, and then it was knocked in by King. O'Gorman can't hold on to that wall pass. Pat curves that one through. But Fuchs there to take it away. Russ King, Christina Fuchs leading 3-1 here in the third and final game of this quarterfinal in open doubles. And the pass here, boy, a lot of table movement there. No call made. And that one's going to end up in the goal. It's now 3-2. And a timeout.
Okay, guys, no, I'm going to call it, right? I'm not going to call it nitpicking thing, right? If it's a I'm not going to nitpick them, but I'm not going to. It's not a free for all. On a loose ball, okay, unless you pop it off a guy's man, you can go for it. But if you go for it hard, and you pop it off a guy's man, good job.
Right on. Awesome.
Brandon Flaherty has been brought in to officiate.
They use one, we have both.
Okay.
Matt?
Ready.
3-2 lead for King and Fuchs. Here in the third, as Russ puts it into play, quickly advances it. And strokes it home just like that. It's 4-2, it's match point. Taken away here by Russ. An angle towards the goal, picked up here by Chan. Still 4-2 here in the third game in favor of King and Fuchs. And we'll get a timeout here.
Calvin?
Set.
Ball to play.
Russ King puts it into play, then closes it out with a pull shot. So Russ King and Christina Fuchs advance in the open doubles competition. We have two more world champions on display here on table number one as we bring you the pro singles final. Greg Perry on the left, Russ King on the right. The winner of this one will be crowned as the pro singles champion. Basically the second division. Kind of odd seeing both of these guys in the non-open division. 6 players qualified in the open division. The next 8 after that would be pros. And here's Perry now shooting a push kick and finding that short dink. And of course, Greg Perry, a man who made the push kick dink famous for many years. And back comes King with a left hook. Perry felt like he was there. It looked like he was, but the ball got between his men and into the goal, and it's 1-1. So the goal's coming quick, opening up this first game. Best 2 out of 3. And Perry working that far side. Boy, Greg's always had the great 5, a very smart 3. Not an overpowering long push kick, but pretty good and great dinks. And there is the push kick to make it 2-1. Perry coming out 2 for 2, shooting it so far. Perry will tend to slow things down a little bit, whereas Russ likes to play that faster style, although Perry does go with a right-handed shot with a 5-row. Now grabs it on the 5, steps into the forward position, and will look to advance it. But that one turned over, and King now will have a chance to tie it. Russ. Perry got out there to post him up and knock it down, and then eventually grabbed the rebound. Sent off the back wall. Perry couldn't quite grab it with the 3. Jeep looks like he wants to shoot it. Nope, going to dump it off that back wall and grab it on his 3-rod. That's a nice play. Truly one of the smartest players, I think, to ever play the game, Greg Perry. 2 for 2 so far, shooting the push kick. And make it 3 for 3 as he gets King off that short hole. Two former open doubles world champions. And taken away here by Perry. Three-one lead early on for Jeep. And King now cuts the lead to 1. Russ puts it on goal and in goal. It's 3-3, 2 in a row from Russ King, and he's going to call time out.
That's your first. Yes, sir. Ready?
3-3 here in game number 1. Russ King will shoot for the lead and find it. 3 in a row from King. And it's 4-3. Perry got off to the good start, but Russ has kept it off of Perry's 3-rod these last few balls, and he's scored 3 in a row. Jeep. King back there completely in defensive mode, able to make the block of that outside bank attempt by Perry. And then up the table and in, and Russ King comes out and steals the opening game. Greg Perry now on the right. Russ King on the left. As Perry now will put it into play, opening up game number 2. Russ King scored the last 4 of that opening game. Perry. Greg Perry, along with his world championship back in 1988, I believe it was, on the tornado table in open doubles. And Perry shooting it well, just has not really had enough opportunities. I believe he's 4 for 4 shooting it from the 3-row from push kick position. King will look to even it up. And he does. Yeah, Greg Perry, world champion in open singles back in 1988. But maybe an even bigger accomplishment, 1985 national championships in open doubles, won with the late great Hall of Famer Tina Roton. The only lady to ever win a national championship in open doubles. Lori Schranz, a player from a little bit of an earlier era. Also a lady who won some major titles. And I believe Perry now 5 for 5 from the 3-rod. And 4 of them have been dinks.
Set. Yeah.
Gray got off to the 3-1 lead in the first game. Pounded off the inside wall by King. Sliding back there to get it is Perry. And Perry, nicely done. It's 3-1 and a timeout called here by King.
Nice shooting, Greg. Set.
Russ King finding himself in the same position here in game number 2. As in game number 1, he fell behind 3-1. Now he's cut the lead to 1. It's 3-2.
Ready? Yeah.
Perry able to brush it through. Let's see if he can continue his can't miss shooting. King with a block, but Perry's going to get it back. 3-2 lead for Greg Perry here in game 2. So 2 in a row now, and that one sent back towards the goal by King, and Perry a little slow getting back there. As a result, Russ able to pick up the rebound, set it up, and look to tie it up here in the second. Got to go straight. Nice switch and block there by Perry. King picks it up, send it back the other way, and then Greg's going to grab it on his 5. And then lose it backwards while spins away from King's 3-rod. And up the table and in again from goal. It's Perry now surging ahead 4-2. Back comes King. Quick pass, quick shot taken away by Perry. Greg tried to grab it with the right hand on the 3-rod. Still 4-2 here in the second. King fires that one wide. And then slams that one home.
Ready? Yeah.
Reset there. Perry tried to squeeze it along the outside wall. And Perry consented to game number 3. Greg Perry fakes and calls timeout.
Ready? 1 each. Excellent.
Greg Perry will put the ball back into play and again look to send it to a third and final game here in this pro singles final. Perry. And able to get that one through. It's one game apiece. Russ King won the first game. Greg Perry came back to win game number 2 as we head to the third and final game of this pro singles final. And King's going to rattle that pass through. And he'll look to strike first here in the third. So he sets up the pull shot. Perry with a block. And the quick push kick here by King makes it 1-0. Greg Perry will put it into play. Looking to tie it up at 1 here in the third. Perry's push kick. Rebound grab by King. Been a battle so far here on table number 1 in this pro singles final. That one blocked and taken away by Perry. And he's able to find the back of the goal here. It's 1-1. That one knocked back and in by Perry. It's 2-1, so Greg with a defensive score has surged ahead here in the decisive third game. And there is King to slam home the rebound. Again, the quick transition game, the quick hands of Russ King paying off as he has tied it up at 2. It is win by 2 with a ceiling of 8. And taken away here and then sent immediately into the goal by King. It's 3-2. And a timeout. Greg Perry puts the ball back into play, now down a goal. He's going to pick this one up off the back wall. Greg Perry, Jeep. False start there, resets it, and hammers home that dink. Good hard angling dink to make it 3-3. Hesitation wall pass by King. For the lead, Russ King. Fires it home. Championship point for Russ. Perry trying to get this one and send it to overtime if he can. That one angled in, and indeed we are headed to overtime. It's now win by 2 with a ceiling of 8. And taken away here by Perry, who holds on to it. Now we'll step into the forward position and look to advance it 5-3. And that one's going to come back to Jeep. Perry for the lead. But King gets out there to make the block on that long push kick attempt. See if Greg looks inside here, and let's see if Russ looks inside with him. Nope. Jeep looked it. Russ didn't, and it's 5-4. It's championship point for Perry. And Perry watches as King quickly ties it up. It's 5-5.
Ready? Yeah.
5-5 here in the third game, and Perry's going to get a possession. King had it blocked, but it hit off his 2-rod and landed on the 3-rod of Perry, who will look to surge ahead once again here in the third game. Jeep trying to stroke the long, and King not giving it to him. Gets out there to make the block. Rebound's going to roll to a stop right in the midfield there, and it'll be Perry who will put it back into play. Perry brushed it through, couldn't connect. It comes back to Russ. 5-5 here in game number 3. Got back pinned wide of the goal, then stabbed again towards the goal by King, and then rebounded by Perry. The ball rolls to a dead stop, and Jeep will put it back into play. Perry taking a look at the banks and finding it. Hits it off that outside wall and in. So Perry again with a match point, as he's now up 6-5. But Russ will look to send it down to a race to 8. Sets up the pull shot. Perry with a block all the way back the other way. King off the outside wall. Somehow Perry got the left hand back there to keep it out. Again, Perry looking to bank the ball. King hustles to get back there. Russ now again can even it at 6. But first, a timeout. Russ King will put the ball back into play and have another chance here to tie it at 6. But Perry with a block on the first one and the second one, and he takes it away. Watch the banks here from Perry. Push shot wide to the short side. Rebound comes back to Jeep once again. Still match point for Perry. And King again will scoop it up. Chance to tie, but that push kick goes wide. Perry off the outside wall, then stabs it towards the goal. Picked up by King, who swings and misses at that quick front pin attempt. Perry playing some good defense here against King. That one angled on goal. And there it is, as Perry is able to find the push shot, and Greg Perry has won the Pro Singles Championship here at the 2017 Warrior California State Championships. We've got more open doubles action for you down on table number 1. It's a semifinal in the open doubles competition. Russ King, Christina Fuchs on the left. That's Al Najjar and Eden Stachlik on the right side. The winner of this one will advance to the open doubles final. Stachlik with the pass attempt picked off here by Russ King. Best 2 games out of 3. And Russ now will have a chance to get his team on the scoreboard first. Taken away here by Stachlik. Eden has not played a whole lot of foosball in the last decade or two, but remains, as he was then, a very good defensive goalie. Very good goalie all around. Up the table by Fuchs. No score here in the first game. Jim Stevens with you from Palm Springs, and now it's 1-0 in favor of King and Fuchs. Checked up here by Al Najjar, who comes down the middle. Not a lot of speed behind it, but the direction was good as it went off of Fuchs's man and into the goal, and we're even at 1. And King sets it up, strokes it home. It's 2-1. Eden. And that one's going to get behind Fuchs and drop in. It's 2-2. Advanced by Najjar. Al's quick long pull shot blocked by Fuchs. Al once again. Fuchs with a block of the straight attempt and the long attempt as well. But continuing to get the rebounds, but finally getting the save is Fuchs, and she'll call timeout. Nice defensive series by Christina. Fuchs will put the ball back into play. Fuchs goes to that short side, knocked down and taken away by Najjar. Al's pull shot again. Christina there to make the block. The range 2-2 here in the first game. Eden in possession. Banked off that outside wall towards the goal, picked up here by Fuchs. Jar able to get the pickup. Al getting possessions. But Fuchs has been getting blocks, and that continues here. Al needs to value those possessions a little bit more. Going up against a goalie the quality of Christina Fuchs, you really have to. That means take your time, execute with authority and intelligence, of course. Al will take a little more time here, but another block by Christina. Not giving him anything. Now it's going to get through to King. Russ will call timeout. Two here in the first game. That shot attempt knocked down by Stachulik. Eden wide of the goal. Still 2-2 here in the first. We've seen some good defense here in this semifinal of open doubles. Going to ask about a jar here. All right, so they brought an official in, Sonny Jawani, and the ball is going to go on the 5. The compromise made, and then Najjar can't hold on to it. A little tougher, I think, to call jars or to really decide what is a jar and what isn't on the Warrior table. It oftentimes sounds as if perhaps it's a jar, while not really being so. Saw the warning for distraction as Najjar now will put it back into play and look to give his team the lead. Al needs to sell that straight a little better. Fuchs, that's 9 or 10 blocks in a row for Christina against the pull shot of Al Najjar. Picked up here by Najjar. Quick left hook on goal. And Al with another possession and a timeout.
You guys are out. You guys got one left.
Al Najjar will put it back into play. Another block by Fuchs. Najjar. Boy, he's had close to 15 possessions already in this game. And he does find the smooth, long pull shot here. It has been a while. 10 or 12 blocks in a row from Fuchs. And Najjar finally gets it through to give his team the lead. Up into the air and off the table. Still 3-2. Chance for King to even it up. Russ has only had a couple of possessions. Najjar has lived with the ball. That would have been an illegal pass if he had completed it, and then he takes it away from Fuchs. Fuchs with a block. Another, but he just keeps getting the ball back. Stachlik on goal. Another possession for Najjar. Another block for Fuchs. Al Najjar at least 15 shot attempts so far. We're at 3-2 in the first game. That bank just wide of the goal. Comes back around where it's snagged by King. Taken right back by Stachlik. You're going to have to hit a pretty good pull shot after taking your time if you're going to score it against Eden Stachlik, who is, again, demonstrating that he remains a very good defensive goalie. Eden, of course, perhaps the lesser known of the two Stachlik brothers. Evan, top 10 player on the Pro Tour for a number of years, and there's Russ King to knock home the rebound to make it 3-3. Russ has those quick hands still. Najjar. Two more blocks for Fuchs as the shot attempts and the defensive stops start to mount. Another possession for Al. Shot attempt goes wide, comes back up to King. It's going to roll to a dead stop. Eden Stachlik will put it back into play. Ruskin for the lead. It's 4-3. All that good defense from Fuchs has allowed King, despite about 20% of the possessions that Najjar has had, to now surge ahead 4-3 here in the first. Stachlik. Up the table, off a man, and in. It's 4-4.
That was interesting. Set down.
Sit.
Nice save here by Eden. Outside bank attempt, slides along that outside wall, goes wide of the goal. It's picked up here by Fuchs. Intercepted by Najjar. Al will get another possession. And that's about 20 here in this first game. And a chance to win game number 1 for Al Najjar. But first, a timeout. Todd Alfredo and Tony Sprague are going to await the winner of this one. You see them at the other end of the table watching.
We're all in the trenches. I'm sorry? We're in the trenches. You're in the trenches right now. Okay, this is it.
Ready?
Al Najjar will put it back into play. Look to win game number 1. Fuchs there to make the block. Again, Najjar. And again, Fuchs. If you get 22 possessions in a game, you would think you're going to win it. That still could happen. But Russ King can also win it right here for his team. But the switch and the block and the takeaway by Eden Stachlik. Eden trying to bank it off that outside wall. Another one towards the goal, kept out by Fuchs, who eventually snags the rebound and has it picked off. Tried to go with something quick, and not always a good idea. Al there to take it away, but sent that shot attempt wide of the goal. Sliced up the table, picked up here by Eden. You get a sense here that Eden might be the one who puts this one in if they're going to win this first game. He sets it up on the near side, fires it down the middle. King gets a man on it. Banked off the outside wall towards the goal. Picked off again here by Fuchs. Fires that one on goal. And there it is. We talked about it, and it was indeed Eden Stachlik who cranks home the bank to win game number 1.
1 out of 25.
much easier to shoot bank on though. Yeah. Very good shot. Is it better on Tornado after they move the strip for bank shots?
Nah, it's kind of here.
Oh, you asked me it's better for that table itself.
Oh, yeah, better than it used to.
Oh, so it's better. All right, guys.
Good job.
I'm still not in the job.
Keep us in the game.
Set. Set.
There we go. Second game underway. Ball put into play by Russ King, who was out possession in that first game, something like 25-4. And we don't have the official stats, but I don't think I'm too far off when I say that. However, it was indeed Eden Stachlik who closed out that first game with that outside bank. Going to spin away, and then nice save there by Stachlik, who tries to come down the middle, and it's stuffed back into the goal by King. Al Najjar is able to get this one through. Fired on goal here by Eden. Eden there again. 1-1 in the second, 1-0 lead for Al Najjar and Eden Stachlik. Al, and probably the best shot of the match right there for Al Najjar, who strokes that pull shot home. And he's given his team a 2-1 lead here in game number 2. That front pin effort blocked him into the air and off the table by Stachlik, who has earned the right to put the ball back into play.
Set.
Again, banked off that outside wall towards the goal. Another possession here for Najjar. Al has shot the ball much better here in this second game. He valued his possessions a little more than he did in that first one. He had a lot of them. Fuchs up the table where it's picked up by King. Again, Stachlik there. We've seen some very good goalie play here in this semifinal in open doubles. There's King able to stroke home that pull shot. Fuchs able to take it away here. Russ King angles that one home. What a beautiful shot there as he brushed it down the middle against Stachlik to give his team the 3-2 lead. Russ will get another possession here. But first, a timeout. Russ King will put the ball back into play. King strokes home the pull shot. It's 4-2. Russ King heating up. He of the Gray Bands. Taken away here again. Fuchs trying to go with something quick. Taken away by Najjar, who finds the straight hole. So the turnover costs. It's now 4-3. Chance to send this one to game number 3 here for Russ King. He does. Here we go. Third game underway. Ball put into play by Al Najjar. Al will have the first scoring opportunity here in game number 3 as he sets it up. Fuchs with a block. And Najjar finds the hole here off the man and down the middle. It's 1-0. King able to brush it down, can tie it. And stroke it home. It's 1-1. And Najjar is going to get a possession out of all that. And he's going to get a goal. He strokes it home.
Set. Set.
looking to extend his team's lead. Al Najjar finds the hole down the middle. So Al, 3 of 4, I believe, shooting it. Maybe 3 for 5 here in this third game. And it's now 3-1. Oh, that pass off the man and then gets through Stachlik. It's 3-2. Al. And again, Najjar. And that one, that straight attempt went wide of the goal. Rebound comes back to Eden. Back up and around to King, who went with a quick front pin far side, rimmed it off the post. Rebound grab by Najjar, who can't connect on the pass, picked up here by Fuchs. And that one gets through somehow as Stachlik mishit the bank, but it gets to Najjar's 5, and Al then quickly advances it to his 3-rod. But Fuchs with a block. Al once again strokes it down the middle. It's match point. That one turned over by King, who then can't hold on to it. Fuchs pounds it back the other way, and Najjar then loses it back to King.
He's aggressive, but he didn't affect them.
Then why are we even showing his hands?
That was not, I see it, I'll call it. I'm not going to be biased.
The ball is my hand. He can't just.
He's aggressive, yes, but he's not affecting
His
you.
hands are moving all over.
Oh, yeah, he's very moving,
right
but
here.
the ball is still playing. You have the possession.
I just I see his hands up and down. Is
But
this
it will be a distraction call for stopping the play, so let's continue.
Eden,
Peter, you okay?
I'm gonna take my first time out.
Sure.
I've got possession, he can't.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you can't take it down.
Yeah, you
You're
can't
right.
take that.
He can't- He's got the ball.
Holy
Sorry,
cow.
he's right, sorry.
Bad beat.
You ready?
All right, continue from
Hang on, hang on. All right.
And setting it up and stroking it home here, it's 4-3.
Ready?
Yeah.
And stroking it home is King. We are even at 4, and into overtime we go. And we've got a timeout.
I swear it's a distraction because the ball was in my hand and he's moving his hands.
But you have a right to do it as long as you know he's trying.
Look,
you have a right
when his
to
hands are
make
like this, my ball in my position is a distraction. That's how you should call that.
Because he have a right to know.
No, I know. Because he doesn't think it's a distraction. That was good. It's a distraction.
I disagree, it's right here.
I know.
We got a ref here.
Come off the line when you guys grab.
All right, man. I'll keep an eye on it. Okay?
That was our first, they
That's
have
the first, they have 2 left.
Ready?
yeah.
4-4 here in the third game. Najjar able to brush this one through after bouncing off the wall, and then quickly converts.
Set.
Match point for Najjar and Stachlik. Eaton with the block. And now Najjar can win the match for his team and send his team to the final. But taken away by Fuchs. Went towards the goal, kept out by Fuchs. Al Najjar has had one shot to win the match. And up the table and in. We're tied at 5.
Come on, let's get it. Come on.
It's taken away here by King. Full call. Timeout.
All right, you guys are out. You guys got 2.
Set. Ball's in play.
5-5 as Russ King puts the ball into play. And then chips it up to his 3-rod with a chance to give his team the lead. Russ King, shot attempt blocked and then taken away by Stachlik. And stuffed back into the goal by King.
7 or 8? 8.
Defense.
Ready?
Set.
King with a chance to win it. Taken away here by Stachlik. Eden off the outside wall. It comes back around to him. Al will set it up and look to tie it up. And he does. Timing that straight perfectly, and now it's a race to 8. Najjar gets a piece of the pass attempt, picked up here by Eden, who had a big shot to close out the opening game. And taken away here by Najjar. Fuchs with the block, and Al's going to reel that one back in. And it's match point as again Al Najjar finds the straight hole. Pressure on Russ King and Christina Fuchs now to get this one and send it down to a final ball. King can do just that right here. And he does.
So this is it, right?
That's it. Tight, guys.
Nuts right here.
Tight.
All right.
We're out of time. So they have
7-7
Ready?
in the third and final game. Taken away here by King. Taken back by Najjar.
Reset.
That one towards the goal, kept up by Fuchs. Najjar is going to get a possession after the block and a chance to win it. Al Najjar fakes and calls timeout.
You guys are out. You guys got one left.
Al Najjar will put it into play with a chance to win the match. Najjar tried to go straight. Fuchs stays home to make the block. Rebound comes back to Najjar.
It's a warning on you.
Warning.
Continue that.
That's all.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ball will be put back into play by Al Najjar, who brushes it through. Another chance to win it here for Al. And he does. In 3 tough games, Al Najjar and Eden Stachlik outlast Russ King and Christina Fuchs to advance to the Open Doubles Final. All right, let's head down to table number 1 once again as we bring you the final of Pro Doubles. Dan Drexler, Garrett Schirkenbach on the left, Steve White's Mitch Zook on the right side of your screen. And here we go. Steve White's putting it into play. Referee for the match, and he does have his work cut out for him. That is Sonny Jawani.
You bounce it twice and then you bounce off the wall.
Oh, actually, no. That is legal because it's in the motion of a pass.
Still, third bounce. Third bounce.
It's in the motion. Okay, you know better than I. Go ahead. I get called a lot. If it's in the motion of a pass, then it's legal.
All right, ready?
Three walls called early on here by referee Jawani. I think it was a good call. The third wall must be part of a wall pass. There's a reset there.
Hold the ball. You can't be screaming after the shot, so it's a warning on you. All right? Ready?
And there's a distraction warning, and another good call there, I think. Drexler tends to grunt and exclaim on each and every shot. And if it goes in, it's probably not a problem, but if it doesn't, it's a distraction. It's not going to be the last call we see this match, I think. It could be interesting. So we're going to try to stay on top of it for you and make sure we catch all the histrionics, specifically with the man in the white shirt. That one angled on goal by Schirkenbach. This is Mitch Zook. Mitch out of San Diego these days. Steve White's his forward from Las Vegas, although both former Los Angeles area players. Dan Drexler will set up the pull shot, fake. Grabbed here by Whites. Steve angled that pass towards the goal. And stroked home by Whites. It's 1-0. Sort of an old school LA versus San Diego match. Drexler and Schirkenbach, two of the great players to call San Diego home for quite a long stretch of their foosball careers. And Whites and Zook, both from the LA area. That one's going to bounce in for Schirkenbach. It's 1-1. This is a guy here who certainly could be a difference maker. And that's a nice pass there. Good old school TS style pass with the goalie. Drexler strokes that one home. 2-1 lead for Drexler and Schirkenbach. That one got through.
You can't be doing that. You can't be. It's a technical on you. No.
That was a little pass. He said, ready to kick it.
You're doing what you're doing, you know better. So I have to give you a technical on that. You're already on the warning. All right? So you shoot that shot. This is a technical. Get it away.
And a technical call. All right, technical foul has been called. This is a technical shot. And it's early. It's 3 balls in. We've got a tee. Whites, and Schirkenbach calmly blocks it and takes it away.
Okay, I gotta go get him.
Hey. Is that a timeout?
Second official call for me. We got a second official coming, so you get the ball right here. We wait for the official. Sorry, I missed that, but I
Two people got it wrong.
Other side, Phil.
Need a second guy. Where? Hide it somewhere.
You guys need time still?
No, nobody's a quick shoot.
We have
Nobody quick shoots.
Anybody here's gonna take two.
I know. Unless he. Yeah. Then you need
Cheap and time and money.
You guys ready? Phil?
Everybody set?
All right, ball is going to be put back into play by Steve Whites on the 3-rod. And White strokes home the pull shot to make it 2-2. And stroking it home here is Drexler. Taken away here. And we're going to get the distraction again.
Did you already give him a warning?
It was already got the technical one time.
Okay, so it starts over. He's got one and then what?
It's a warning.
You ready?
All right, there's another warning here. Taken away by Drexler. 3-2 lead for Drexler and Schirkenbach. 4-2 now. Whites. Strokes that one home.
Good D. No, fuck that. Okay.
Chance here for Whites to tie game number 1 up at 4 apiece. They come down the middle, blocked away. It comes back to Drexler on his 3-rod. Blocked by Zook. Rebound picked up here by Whites. And stroked home here down the middle. Yeah, we're going to get a conversation here. And there was a, after the play, call that could have been made.
You got all the timeouts, and you're on reset. Here we go.
He's on reset and he's on a distraction.
And a warning on the.
Here we go.
Picked up here by Zook. Mitch just looking to get it out, but that one blocked back towards the goal, dangerously down the middle for Mitch Zook. A little bit fortunate to get it back. And just looking to get it out, and he does so. White grabs it on his 5. And taken away here by Drexler. And Dan Drexler now. Looking for a first game win. And he gets it.
Dan, good shot.
You gonna stay where you're at?
Does everything start over now? Or am I warning for everything again?
It's zero. Let's start all over.
Starts over? Okay, good.
Continue.
Okay.
Good luck, guys. 1 game to nothing then.
Drexler and Schirkenbach won game number 1, 5-4. As we open up the second game, White's trying to pass it down the middle, stolen away by Drexler. Dan finds the inside.
Good shot.
Schirkenbach looking to pass, and then dug out nicely on the far side by Drexler. It's 2-0.
Reset.
Taken away here,
Hold the ball.
and we're going to get a call.
Don't take your hand off that rod when he's got it on the 3 and he's trying to catch it. That's your first warning the first warning for a distraction. You didn't wipe it. You took it off and hung it over there. It's a distraction. First warning on that. Got it?
Yeah, referee Phil Schlafer with a good call.
Shooting a goalie. I take my hands off the rod a lot of times like this. Debate him for something. Like a pass.
The ball's in front of you. That's fine. The ball's behind you right there. You can't. Let's play ball. Ready? Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Let's go. Ready.
All put into play here by Whites. And he strokes it home. 2-1.
Yes.
Drexler through the lane. And strokes it home.
You walked away from the table.
It's 3-1.
It's your first time out.
No? How much you get for timeout?
When you turn around from the table, it's a
How much time do you?
Sonny, you're a hard ass.
A rule is a rule, man. A rule is a rule, right?
10 seconds. Here we go.
1 second. Yep. He's on a reset
You got
warning
1, you got 2, you're on reset.
and distraction, right?
So even with all the histrionics, Drexler has played a very good match and has his team up 3-1 here in the second game as Whites with a big possession here. Try to come down the middle, knock back the other way towards the goal. And stroking it home here is Whites to make it 3-2. Drexler. Blocked by Zook. And stoppage in play.
Distraction. So it's a technical.
Another technical called for distraction.
Step away, base.
That's your second one.
Officer's ready. Are you ready?
Steve Whites will look to tie it up. Not the best possession for Steve on that one. And he knows it.
To the 2.
I was assuming it was on my Mitch.
Ready, guys?
Yep.
Mitch Zook will put it into play. Fired that one on goal. Rebound. Karams to Drexler on his 5.
Come on, one more, Dan.
Turn around.
Nope. Didn't turn my back.
Okay.
3 seconds in between balls. I read some of the rules.
Wait for it.
Ready, guys?
I'm not. Let's go. Ready? No.
Chance to win it right here for Drexler.
Reset.
Blocked by Zook.
That's a technical.
That was loud enough. You
I'm
bother.
sorry, you cannot do that. It's law. That's the rules, man. Step away from
We've got another technical. Again, Drexler just can't help himself, apparently.
Dan, can you keep it down there? You're going to be talking. Keep it back here. Ask him if he's reset.
Cut 2, start over.
Ready? Ready.
Whites. And taking Taken away by Schirkenbach. So back to the table come the players. We've had 3 technical shots so far.
Ready, guys?
All right, guys, good job. Yep.
Mitch Zook will put it into play. That one sent into the goal by Whites with the 5. Four, 3 remains. Match point for Drexler and Schirkenbach. Taken away here by Whites. That should have been a jar there.
Start off the 3. Bring it back to the 3 bar.
And it is. Been a bit of a weird one here, folks. Although not unexpected, I can tell you that. It's been something that's been going on here all weekend long, and seeking along, there's White stroking it home to make it 4-4.
Hey. Here we go. Hey.
The pass attempt knocked down, comes back to Zook. They were down 4-2. They've tied it at 4.
Reset.
Bank attempt, and it's Whites who picks it up on the 5. Back the other way comes Schirkenbach on goal. Zook keeps it out. That one's going to roll to a stop. And put back into play by Mitch Zook. Bank that off the inside wall. Drexler able to pick it up. Well, a lot of table movement there. Perhaps a combination of the offensive player and the defensive player lifting the right side of the table. No call made. Zook angling it. Schirkenbach picking it up.
Reset.
Pass attempt, hustled after, but it's going to land on the 3-rod of Drexler, who can win the match. Dan Drexler. Blocked, and there it is again. Another technical called. He cannot help himself. It's a big grunt, and it's fine if it goes in. But if it doesn't, you're going to get called. He's been called again, and Whites now can send this one to a 3rd game. But again, Schirkenbach is there.
Go to the 5. Go to the 5.
Oh, yeah. Who's 5? He's 5? Sorry. Okay, you each have a reset. Remember that. Here we go.
Still 4-4 here in the 2nd game. Steve Whites. Can send it to game number 3. Trying to come down the middle, taken away by Schirkenbach. Boy, Garrett showed him that split on the standard, showed it to him, then switched to the reverse and took it away. He's looking to bank it. Slides that one along the outside wall. And Zook with the save. Shot down the middle, taken away by Drexler. Another chance for Dan. Despite all of the technical fouls, Drexler and Schirkenbach can once again win it right here. And then there it is as Drexler strokes it home. In 2 games, Dan Drexler and Garrett Schirkenbach defeat Steve Weitz and Mitch Zook to win the 2017 Warrior California State Pro Doubles Championship. It was an odd one, to be technical. Let's head over to table number 1 once again for the Open Doubles Final. That's the pre-tournament favorites, Tony Spredeman and Todd Lafredo on the right, Al Najjar, Eden Stachlik on the left. And Al and Eden certainly have their work cut out for them. They really are going to have to take advantage of every opportunity they have, starting with this possession here from Al Najjar. And stroking it home here to make it 1-0 is Al Najjar. It's just one best 2 out of 3 match. That's it. Lafredo. Todd just looking to get his partner possessions. Gets him one right here. Tony will shoot the pull kick against Eden Stachlik and fire home the long. 1-1 here in game number 1. Najjar. Taken away by Lafredo. Again, Lafredo feeding Spredeman. Tony feeding the goal. Taken away here by Spredeman. Try to go quickly along that wall. Blocked by Najjar. It comes back to Lafredo, who rattles that one up the table where it's picked off by Najjar. Again, Lafredo, this time angling it directly to Tony on the 3-rock. Spredeman. Try to come down the middle. Eden with the block. Tony again. Slingshot off the outside wall. And when Tony executes that, and if the goalie is not expecting it, it is literally a wide open goal. As big a hole as you're ever going to see, and you saw it there. As Eden moved his defensive men out towards the long hole, it left the entire goal wide open for Tony. All he had to do was execute it, which he did. And he's given his team the 3-1 lead again. Lafredo looking to chip it to Tony's 3-rock. Slides that one up the table. Eden Stachlik will pick it up. Stolen away here by Tony. Spredeman Stokes it home down the middle.
This ball sucks. Yeah, that was.
Two, right?
Well, one of them for sure. Dogs have a trouble. If it's just barely, I don't know.
I've got three of them that are kind of broken in down here. I think it's just, when they're new, I think they're worse.
Just might be the table.
This is a table, not the bowl. Ready? Yep.
Al Najjar puts it back into play and is able to pass it through. Najjar and Stachalik scored the first goal of this first game. Sprayman and Lafredo have scored 4 in a row to take the 4-1 lead. And Tony can win game number 1 right here. That one went wide. Najjar couldn't grab it. And it's 1-0.
Ready? Yes.
Second game underway. Najjar. And that one stroked home. So again, as in the first game, Najjar and Schirkenbach on the scoreboard first here in game number 2. Fredo waiting for the spinning ball to stop. Through the lane here. It's AB, it's to the wall, it's through the lane, this time through the lane. And then angled in. That's a tough one to stop if you're Eden Stachlik. Tony steals it. And then loses it back to Najjar. And Al able to stroke it home to make it 2-1. Remember, it's just one, best 2 out of 3. That's it. Todd Lafredo and Tony Sprayman will play each other in the singles final here in a little while. And Sprayman now has tied it up at 2 with that pull kick. Najjar. Another opportunity here. Lafredo defending as Al sets it up. Quickly up the table where it's picked up by Sprayman. Tony. Soaking it down the middle.
Yes.
3-2 lead for Sprayman and Lafredo. Just 2 goals away from another Open Doubles Championship.
I didn't know if it was going to start clapping or
I think that was yours.
Tony sprayed him in. We'll put it back into play here. Sprayed him in. Tried to go to the dink hole. Stachalik pounds that one up the table and in. It's 3-3. Al Najjar, Eden Stachlik fighting tooth and nail to try to send this one to a third and final game. And taken away here by Eden. And blocked back into the goal by Spredeman. It's match point. And Najjar able to get it through to make it 4-4. And we're going to get a timeout here. Match point for Tony and Todd. For the win, Tony sprayed him. Tried to come back with a tic-tac angling effort with that far man. Sprayed him in again. Tried to dink it, taken away by Eden. Picked off the inside wall. It spins back to Tony. He passes it back down the lane through that high lane. Again, looking for victory. Tony sprayed him. Call timeout. Spredeman puts the ball back into play. Another chance to win it here for Tony. He's had 2 shots already, and another block here by Eden. Nice work by the veteran Eden Stachalik. Make that one off the inside wall. That one's going to come back to Al Najjar, who can send it to game number 3. Najjar strokes it home. It's 1 game apiece. So Al Najjar, Eden Stachlik giving Spredeman and Lafredo a run. Tony had 3 shots, I believe, to put away that last game and the match, but Stachlik came up big defensively, and Eden gets a block here. Eden looking to bank. Tony with a couple of blocks. It bounces back to Eden Stachlik. Tried to bank that one off the outside wall. It comes all the way back around to him. Eden again. And picked up here by Najjar. Al back along the wall. Lafredo with the block. Left hook back towards Lafredo. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe Todd Lafredo has won every open doubles championship that has been held here at the Cimarron Country Club on the Warrior table. And we're going to get an official timeout here, it appears.
On this one, too. We gotta check that stuff. We can't keep taking timeouts and timeouts. Well, I took the timeout.
I love the people when they go, I like my bearings nice and loose. All yours good, Tony?
I'd like to shout out to my lovely wife, Amy, watching in Durango, Colorado. And Ari and Kian, if you're in front of the computer. Hi, guys.
All right, guys, ready? Yep.
No score here in the third game. Sprademan now.
Keep it down over there, Dwayne. Ready? Yep.
One angled wide of the goal. Picked up again here by Sprademan. 1-0 lead for Sprademan and Lafredo. That one chipped up the table towards Sprademan's 3. Scoring at a premium here in this last game. Stachlik fires it home. So Eden Stachlik now has tied it up at 1 here in this third game. Third and final game. Eden has certainly been a factor, both defensively and now offensively here in this third game. Tony, shot attempt blocked by Eden Stachlik. And Najjar through the lane. Al finds the straight hole. It's 2-1. Talking about Lafredo. He's won here with Sprademan, I think, the last 3 tournaments here. And I recall him also winning with Terry Rue. One lead here in the third and final game. That pass along the near wall. Najjar not there to get it. Todd Lafredo still trying to get Tony the ball. Todd, a great banking goalie on this table especially, and of course on any table. I think at some point perhaps he would begin to shoot the ball. Tony with another possession, but you give Tony enough possessions, he's going to figure out ways to score. Spreadman angles it in. It's 2-2. That is a tough shot. Spreadman for the lead. Dinks it to the short hole. It's 3-2. Spreadman starting to turn it on. At just the right time, of course, and it's championship point. And we've got a timeout. All right, a quick shout out to Ari and Kian. Hi, guys. Al Najjar will put it into play. Brush it through the lane, couldn't hold on to it. Stabbed on goal by Tony, who can put it away right here. Spreadman for the championship. Tried the slingshot. Rebound grabbed by Najjar. Again, the hole was wide open. Tony just missed it. Al's quick pull shot. Lafredo there to take it away. And almost stolen by Najjar. Does get through to Tony. Spreadman once again for the win. And again. Spreadman stokes it home, and there it is. So Tony Spreadman and Todd Lafredo defeat a very tough Al Najjar and Eden Stachlik to win the 2017 Warrior California State Championship Open Doubles title. Yet another championship title for those two.